Welcome to another episode of Arakan on Fire. I'm your host, Muhammad Noor. We bring you another episode with an alert, or rather worriness, that coming out of Arakan and Burma. People are worried and crying out loud for help. It is suggested there will be another massive attack against Rohingyas in Rakhine State. For the last 9 months, there were two massive organized attacks against Rohingyas and against unarmed civilians in Arakan State. Many villages and neighborhoods are being razed to the ground. More than 100,000 people are currently homeless. As a result, many have tried to flee to the neighboring countries, and many drown at seas, and some are starving in refugee camps. Some are died in crossing borders, and many left missing. Many women are being raped and tortured by the local authorities like Lunting, Nasaka, and by the extremist Mogs, or rather Rakhines. These treatments shows that there is no humanity. These treatments shows that cruelty against humanity is being carried out. The international community remained silent on this issue. There are murders being carried out on daily basis, rape, torture, extermination of the Rohingyas is being carried out. For the last 9 months, the Burmese regime has not stopped or did not make any effort to stop the extremists of this Rakhine group. Through the Skype call, Miss Jamila Hanan, a human rights activist, joining us from London. Welcome to our show. We would like to know what is happening on the ground situation, since you've been following through the Twitter and through Facebooks and many other organizations and NGOs. What has been happening, and what is this new worried or new concern that has been raising among the people that talking about there will be another massive third attack or third genocide they're going to carry it out? What do you know about it?
Yeah, well, I first heard about rumours of a third massacre a few weeks ago. My Rohingya friend, who tweets every day from Burma, tweeted that there had been reports that a third massacre was to begin. So since then I started asking around and trying to find out more information about this. And eventually the report started to come from everybody I knew, and every agency that I knew, every campaigner, that they were hearing exactly the same thing. So what they were being told is that there have been leaflets distributed across Arakan, written in the Rakhine language, telling people that there's going to be a third wave of violence, the same as happened in June and in October, and warning people that this was going to take place after the school matriculation exams, which we understand finish on the 17th of March. I was obviously very concerned about this, so asked my Rohingya friend for an online chat interview, which I've posted on my blog. It's SaveRohingya.blogspot.com, and that lists in detail what he knows. And it seems that leaflets have been distributed distributed. Lots of meetings have taken place across the towns telling people this is going to happen. In addition, there was a very large demonstration of monks and Arakan in the town of Sitwe telling people that they didn't want the Rohingya to receive any funding, they wanted them to leave the country. There's also been propaganda distributed online, and I also understand leaflets as well on the ground, telling NGOs to get out of Arakan immediately. And in addition to this, there have been people, Rakhine, visiting Rohingya in camps and telling them if they don't leave very soon, they're going to die. There was no doubt about this. It was a very clear, direct message. So we know that it has been building up to this. All the signs are there. Even professional Genocide Watch have sent out alerts before that this is the way it's going, and nobody has done anything to stop this. So it should come as no surprise to anybody hearing this that this is planned. It's perhaps slightly surprising that they're being so open about it, but we clearly know that this is planned. We even saw that weapons have been distributed across Arakan. Apparently every town, every village has received up to 10 to 20 guns. Youth are being trained in fighting using guns and swords, I'm told, in preparation for this wipeout, it would seem. So all the warning signs are there. If there was any UN observers on the ground, they would have more than enough evidence that this is going to take place.
What are the current situation or current planning that has been going on to carry out these massive attacks that people are talking about, the media are talking about, Human Rights Watch have been talking about, and recently the parliament member from USDP, Mr. Shoaib Mong, has raised a concern, and on his statement he's showing that there will be another massive attack that been so the government should take measurement. What are the current situation or current evidence that shows, or what are the signs that shows towards this brutality?
Yes, well, I have made inquiries with people on the ground and some agencies, both government and non-government, and what I'm hearing unofficially is they are getting the same reports. I've heard that the UN have been trying to deploy aid workers around to see what's happening, but they are not going to give any protection to the Rohingya when masses of people move in like they did previously with guns and swords and weapons. There will be no mercy and there will be no protection for these people. So we understand, we know that the official organisations are aware of what's happening, but everybody is fearful to speak out because they say, oh, what if we're wrong? Where's the evidence? How much evidence do they need? Because by the time they get their evidence, all that will be left is dead bodies, and they can go, like they've done previously, and dig up the mass graves and find the dead bodies and say, never again. And they'll be saying that again. This is the situation. I think it's an outrage. Never before have the public been so informed through social media that this massacre is about to take place, and yet no government agencies and no governments are speaking out about this. So what they're doing behind the scenes, I don't know. But it does seem to look like that business, once again, is taking priority. Every nation wants a stake of the Burmese pie. Everybody knows that. There's a huge number of oil contracts up for grabs, as well as many other contracts. And everybody is trying to get a hand on that business. And the Rohingya are on an unfortunate consequence. I guess people just think they cannot afford, in their nation's interest, to speak out for the Rohingya. But this is an absolute disgrace. Genocide is the most evil thing that I can ever possibly imagine. And for it to take place before all our noses, as we're watching, we know this is going to happen, nobody's doing anything to stop it. Who is doing anything? It's a disgrace.
Okay. What can it be done, or who can stop this, and what should we do, or what the people should do whether they should force the government or they should pressurize the government to stop this Rakhine extremists that have been planning and all this, what they should do to stop this next attempt genocide?
Well, I believe genocide is such a huge problem. Everybody should be acting. Everybody. Our media should be reporting this. Our NGOs should be speaking out about this. Everything they know. Even if they're not sure. Of course, nobody's certain, 100% certain what's going to happen in the future. We don't know. Let's hope we stop this. But the warning signs are there. They should be speaking out. Everybody should be speaking out. Politicians now should be meeting urgently and saying in no uncertain terms, if this goes ahead, sanctions will be reimposed and international justice will be sought, because the evidence is overwhelming. It is overwhelming.
And there is no doubt that that it would not happen, because it already happened 2 times.
It has happened, exactly.
Yes, and it can happen again and again.
It has happened twice before. How much more evidence do they need? When you look at what's happened, thousands, I understand over 5,000 buildings, homes obliterated, absolutely obliterated, leveled to the ground. Thousands and thousands of people, floating around in the sea. Every day there's another boatload. Thousands of people in camps, and it's known, I've heard something like 20,000 of them are in paddy fields that are going to be flooded up to their waist soon. What is going on is an absolute human disaster, and the whole world should be appalled at what's happening. I'm appalled. It makes you ashamed to be human. That is the truth. And our governments, what are they thinking of? What are they thinking of? They should be forgetting national interest in the face of genocide. This is the one time when national interest cannot come first. Humanity must come first. And so I just want to make a plea, and especially to my government, David Cameron, William Hague, Hugo Swipe, Baroness Worsley, she knows what's happening. They're my government. I would like them to speak out loud and clear. We know this is happening. If this happens, the Burmese government are in trouble. They could protect this. They could protect the Rohingya. They could stop this. In the last 2 times, Human Rights Watch reported after the first wave of violence, the Burmese government could have stopped this. They can stop this one if they want to. And it's just politics. And genocide is always politics. And our politicians are to blame for this, and they should act. They must act.
Thank you very much for being on the show with us on Arakan on Fire. Back to our audience. There's a lot of humanitarian disaster. People are stopping, or the governments and local extremists are stopping medicine or aids or housing projects that have been providing to the local Rohingyas over there. And Muslim cannot buy food from the shops, or they are rather doing Muslim only can buy food from the Muslim shops. All across Rangoon, this type of incidents are happening. Some of these issues has been popping up from different part of the country, from Yangon, from Mandalay, and from Arakan state, and it seems like it's been spreading. But according to many people, that the arms have been distributed, and training are being going on, and lethal weapons are being stored, and pamphlets been distributed. And there's a lot of science. The science is everywhere. So a lot of science been going on too. So now, as international community, what should we do to stop the next attack, or to stop any further attack coming to these poor people back in Burma? It is strategically wrong that even the Rohingya are minority in Burma, but when you look at as a Muslim community as a whole around the world, there are more than 1.2 billion Muslims, which is strategically is quite wrong for the Burmese people and the government to spark anger among the Muslims all around the world of this huge population due to these backing up this Rakhine extremist, which can harm them in the future. These concerns are raising day by day, and many calls are coming out from Arakan and many different parts of Burma that this is raising concern about the next or the third attack that was going to be even massive than before, because a lot of templates and a lot of guns and a lot of lethal weapons have been distributed in many places all over Burma. So this raising concern, international community should look into it. Like United States government and UK and European Union, Australia and ASEAN, especially the neighboring countries, should take a very strong measure, or should condemn or should warn the Burmese government into this. This region has been destabilized in many ways. Like in Bangladesh, there are, between the government and the Jamaat Islam, there's been this stability in the country. So the extremist mob in the border might take an opportunity to even destabilize more between the mosques in Bangladesh and in Burma, and attacking these unarmed Rohingyas. This special episode on alert of this new fresh attack that is been anticipating by many human rights activists and by many NGOs, that international community should look into this matter with more aggressive and should pressurize the Burmese government to take every measurement so that this should not happen. This is a special episode that we are making on alert on Arakan. And this request goes to every community, every community and every organization, including the government and government officials. This is Arakan on Fire. I'm your host, Muhammad Noor.